The doctor personally transformed his 300-kilogram wife into the likeness of the richest man's wife. Afterward, he even personally delivered her into the arms of the tycoon, and the reason he did this was to take revenge on his vicious wife. In his previous life, the wife wanted to become a rich man's wife, and actually kidnapped the tycoon's wife home. She demanded that her husband make her look exactly like the tycoon's wife. However, the kind man refused. He even persuaded his wife to surrender and confess her crime. But instead of listening to him, she killed her husband without hesitation. Yet at the very moment of his tragic death, the man was reborn 10 minutes earlier. This time, when faced with his wife's demand, he agreed without hesitation. Because as a famous plastic surgeon, he knew that altering one's appearance at will would always come with a terrible price. Therefore, the man had always dedicated himself to helping those who had been disfigured by accidents or born with deformities. But for those who sought surgery purely for vanity, no matter how much they offered, he would always refuse without hesitation. But because of this, his income, compared to his reputation, was rather insignificant. Yet it was more than enough to support their life together. However, his wife was never satisfied. She often scolded him in public without restraint. One day, the tycoon took his wife Anna shopping. Whenever Anna glanced at a piece of jewelry, the tycoon would buy it immediately. Seeing how generous the tycoon was, the wife became extremely jealous. To live a life like Anna's, she went so far as to kidnap Anna. She demanded her husband make her look like Anna. Little did she know that the seemingly gentle and loving tycoon was not the man she imagined. The doctor had witnessed firsthand how cruel he could be to his enemies. He was gentle only when facing Anna, but thinking of his fate in the previous life and the constant scolding from his wife, the man decided to grant her wish. The next day, during the wife's surgery, the man's in-laws came over. They, like the wife, looked down on him. When they learned their daughter was about to become the tycoon's wife, they immediately fantasized about 80 chefs cooking for them and 200 servants attending to them. They believed their lives would soon be blissful. Seeing this, the man couldn't help but sneer, because he knew those people probably wouldn't live much longer. If Anna so much as got burned by spicy food, the chef would be forced to drink chili water. If Anna coughed twice, the servant attending her would be locked in the freezer. Thinking of this, the man couldn't help but anticipate how the tycoon would react when he found out Anna had been kidnapped. Soon, it was time for the wife's surgery. To take his revenge, the man lied that she was too heavy for anesthesia. To ensure the best surgical results, they had to stay awake and communicate throughout. The wife agreed without hesitation. To her, as long as she could become the tycoon's wife, no price was too high. Meanwhile, the tycoon went mad over Anna's disappearance. He locked down the entire city and launched aerial searches and made all his employees carry missing person flyers door to door. Anyone who provided useful information would receive a $10 million reward. After several rounds of surgery, the wife indeed became very slim. Seeing their daughter's perfect new figure, her parents hurried to inform the tycoon. They claimed they had found Anna,